Welcome folks, our AR-15 build journey continues. We've completed our lower, we've selected our barrel, and now it's time to talk about barrel devices. My intention for today is to discuss 4 categories of muzzle devices. What will be absent is suppressors. I don't have any experience with them. I'm suspicious of their performance with .223. It's a supersonic round, and if you make it subsonic, it's often going to fail to run the action, as I understand it. This is all research, no first-hand information from me. But we will be talking about no muzzle device, flash suppressors, compensators, and muzzle brakes. After looking through my old footage, I couldn't find anything that showed a great muzzle flash except for my mom's burst of thunder, and this is footage that I took around twilight. So the camera doesn't show how dark it is. So we'll roll in that, and you can see what a muzzle flash looks like. And then I've found some photorealistic graphics that I've made with Windows 3D Paint. And you're gonna feel like you're there, trust me. And we're gonna see the effects that the different muzzle devices are gonna have on muzzle flash and barrel rise and all that good stuff. So without further ado, let's have a look at the burst of thunder. So as you saw the burst of thunder 380cc shot, you'll notice there was some muzzle flash, some recoil, and some barrel rise. And the intention of muzzle devices is to try and eliminate or reduce those things. So the mechanics to do that is to put one of these on the end of your barrel, and that's going to divert some of the expelled gases in various directions, and we're going to use that for a mechanical advantage. As promised, we have our photorealistic image here showing our AR-15 on the left and the most dangerous game on the right. And what I'm going to attempt to illustrate with the animations is what the flash and muzzle gases are going to look like. For starters, we're going to see them unmolested by any kind of muzzle device. So our most basic muzzle device is this A2 that comes with pretty much any barrel that you buy with a completed upper. And it's got the slits around it to disperse the gas and break up the flash. And then in the A2 model, it wasn't in the A1, they filled in these areas here, and that's with these oriented up, it adds some compensation properties to expel the gas upwards and keep your barrel on target, and keeps the gas from going downward and spraying debris all over you. And these are affixed with, you just pop a wrench over there and then throw this crush washer over the end of the barrel and crank it down and you're good to go. Being mindful that your barrel's made out of steel and your receiver's made out of aluminum, so you're going to want to put your barrel in some kind of vise before you do any cranking on here. Let's see that in action. So what we're looking for here is the greatly reduced muzzle flash signature. You may have to use your imagination a little bit. Bear with me. So I don't strictly own a compensator, but this is a brake comp, and you can see it's ported on the top as well as on the sides. This was purchased from our good friend Tom Gilbert Gun Exchange, Elk Mound, Wisconsin. And the intention, as you'll see a theme here, was to buy the loudest muzzle device possible that still looked stylish. And the idea of a compensator is that it's going to redirect the gases through these top ports. You can see they're flared a little bit, and that's going to keep the muzzle from rising when you take a shot. So it's actively directing the gas to push it back downwards. Keep it on target. Once again, let's go to our photorealistic graphic and see how that plays out. Next up for your consideration is the muzzle brake. Here's a fine specimen right here. This is a Jerry Miculek. It's reasonably priced, and I've got it on my 20-inch stainless steel fluted barrel. And while the previous one that you saw, which I believe was a Troy Industries, Tom never tells me what he's selling me, nor does he tell me what it costs. He just totals it up in his head at the end, and then I have to remind him for what he's not charging me for. I think this thing ran about $30. So while that previous model was the loudest muzzle device sold at the Gilbert Gun Exchange, as near as I can tell, this is one of the loudest sold on the internet. And that was a fantastic selling point. And if you'll notice, this has got like a jam nut on here instead of the crush washer that you tied down. So you screw the nut on there, orient this to where you want it, and then back the nut back out on it. So while the premise of the compensator is to vent the gases up and prevent muzzle rise, the premise of the brake is to vent them backwards, and that's going to help with recoil. You can't cheat Mother Nature. You're still going to get some, but this is the same system that's used on the 50 BMG Barrett with the classic, iconic chevron muzzle brake. Now again, remember, my interest in this was not for recoil mitigation, which is minimal with the 223 and 5.56, but because I want to rattle the teeth of the guy sitting next to me at the gun range. It wasn't too long ago that someone with an aggressive muzzle brake sat next to me at the gun range, and it rattled my teeth, put a smile on my face, and if I can get shots on target with that going off and rattling around in my sinuses, I think I can get shots off in about any situation, right? So really, I'm doing everybody a favor with this monster. Let's see what it looks like in action. Well, if you guys sat through all that, you are true Renaissance men and women. Next week, we're going to have either a look at the Galco Pocket Protector for the Versa Thunder 380cc, if I can get a model here for us. I've got someone very special lined up, but he's a little shy. Otherwise, if I can get my associates to go to the gun range with us, we may have a look at a very special shotgun. If not, we'll figure something out. Thanks for watching, and I'll roll in a list of all my costs on the build so far.